What's going on, guys? I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. You'll return to subscribe. As always, guys, welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. Guys, my allergies are killing me. We're going to try to get these videos done today as fast as we can and efficiently as we can, so just bear with me. Guys, listen. Yesterday, we been doing our daily updates on the Tyre Nichols case. There was a couple of things I forgot to tell you, and they gonna blow your mind. But before I get into that, we'll do a recap yesterday of who took the stand. They finished up with Emmett Martin III, one of the officers that was out there with him, the chief officer that was instrumental in beating Tyre Nichols to death. May he rest in peace. They also had a paramedic on the stand who said a couple of things, which I'll show you in the video coming up. And they also had the ex-girlfriend of Demetrius Haley on the stand showing pictures that was sent to her of Tyre Nichols. Now, I'm gonna play this video, and I'm gonna come back and tell you some craziness that I had forgot to tell you guys yesterday. Take a look at this. We're gonna come back and talk about it. Man, these Scorpion team members need to be ashamed of themselves, and I don't even know why they prolonging with this situation in court. They guilty as sin. We need to stop playing with them. Let's get to the verdict and get them out of here. Take a look. And I got blue stuff on my hand.
Paramedic is expected to return to the stand today in the trial of 3 former Memphis police officers charged in the fatal beating of Tyre Nichols. Yesterday, the first responder testified he knew it was a medical emergency as soon as he saw Nichols, but that officers never told him Nichols had been beaten, which may have delayed effective medical care. Jurors also heard from a former officer who struck a plea deal in the case. Emmett Martin testified he beat a helpless Nichols and then lied about it to internal investigators to try to cover up what he did. He also said he never saw Nichols reach for Martin's gun or swing at officers, as police reports claimed. ABC's Phil Lipoff joins me now for more on this. Phil, what stood out to you from the witness testimony so far in this case?
Well, what you just said was huge. I mean, there were 5 officers involved in this Scorpion unit that were there that night, involved in the beating of Tyre Nichols. 2 of them have flipped and are giving testimony against 3 of them. 2 of them have cut plea deals with the feds. And 1 of them was on the stand for the past couple of days, giving that really damning testimony. And then there was this testimony of a text that was sent by one of the officers on trial to his girlfriend of a bloodied Tyre Nichols lying there with his hands tied behind his back. That was texted. There's been a lot of really damning testimony so far. And it's really hard to hear, too.
And this ex-officer, Emmett Martin, not only testified that he beat Nichols while he was helpless, but also that he exaggerated Nichols' actions that prompted this traffic stop
in the first place
to begin with. Now, I can't remember a cop ever giving this kind of testimony in a case like this. Based on the cross-examination, how is the defense trying to counter this testimony? They seem to really focus on handcuffs and their potential to be a deadly weapon if only one hand is cuffed. Is that going to be enough?
Right, there's a lot of splitting hairs, but in the end, this officer who has cut a deal has said, we exaggerated what we did to pull him over in the first place, and then he didn't reach for the gun like we said he reached for the gun. So but the only way they could counter this is what they did in cross-examination and said, well, aren't you just making all of this up or saying this for your plea deal? You cut a plea deal, so you have to give this kind of testimony for the prosecution.
And then now we have this testimony from the paramedic who responded to the scene. He's saying that when he got there, nobody told him that Nichols had been beaten, that the officers said they thought Nichols took something, so he's administering Narcan, right, treating a different set of injuries. How damning is that testimony, and what do you expect from cross-examination today? Look,
it was bad enough that the officer has said, this is what the one who cut a deal said, this is what we've done, right? And this is what we could have done. Now you have Jesse Guy, this paramedic who's on the stand today, was on the stand yesterday, saying, I got there and I wasn't given crucial information from the police officers or 2 other paramedics, by the way, who have been fired as well, who were there before EMT Jesse Guy got there. And when asked if you had that information, would it made a difference? He said yes. Remember, he performed CPR on Nichols in the ambulance on the way to the hospital and wasn't able to save his life.
All right, Phil Lipoff, thank you.
Guys, there you have it. Now, last year when we were picking this case, going through the intricacies of this case with the videos and going back and forth with the videos, with all the videos I made, as the news came out in Memphis where they were saying, hey, you know, we're going to release some, because it was supposed to be 2 different times, they were supposed to release audio and video to the public. First time they released some footage, then it was taking a long time for them to release the second footage, which they said they released to the public, but the public was saying, hey, we didn't get it because it was a certain avenue you had to go to get this footage, which I wound up getting, and I put it on YouTube for you guys to see. But before that, I told you, I said, they are not going to, the reason why it's taking them so long to get this footage out, it's not the part of the beating, because a lot of people were like, hey man, you know, they already showed the bad part. Why are they taking so long? Because the amount of defense is not the visual, it's the audio. And part of the thing that makes this thing bad was when Demetrius Haley was talking at the end, it was a lot of things they did after Tyre Nichols was on the ground. His body was on the ground, like taking cell phone pictures of him, talking about, lying about what he did and stuff, which we all saw. The tape didn't lie. He didn't do any of that. I was saying it's not what they did after he was on the ground and taken away. It's what was said. Come to find out they lied, falsified documents, so on and so forth. Emmett Martin came in court yesterday, day before that, and told everything. So to everybody's shock, you know, which we already knew already, the guys have been following this channel, to everybody's shock, now, you know, it's surprising. But something else is surprising that the media didn't say yesterday. And, you know, what's crazy is there was another set of EMTs there. Now, we only seen one set. There was another set of EMTs. Because remember, other EMTs got in trouble because they just stood around and looked at them. And it goes back to what they said in this article. In this article, they never said that they put their hands on him and beat him up. The way they made it look like they apprehended him and he was already like that. That's why the EMT stood there and looked at him like he was crazy, because they did not give vital information that could have been key in saving Tyre's life. Precious seconds were lost while these cops went over there, high-fived, laughed, boasted. Demetrius Haley told a bunch of war stories. Other cops came because they heard the radio chatter, thinking something crazy was happening on the night where I guess a lot of them was bored. So they came to see what all the fuss was about. And he running his mouth while this man is leaking out on the concrete. And EMTs are standing there and not knowing what to do because they don't know what's wrong with him. That's the part that's crazy. That's crazy. You were so on an emotional high to make yourself look like super cops that you let this man go without aid. You had a field supervisor, Lieutenant Dwayne Smith, that stood there and didn't fill the leadership role that he was appointed to, and took your word for it and let him sit there. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, with the damage that was done to him, I don't think he would have survived. Because I'm going to tell you, those punches and those kicks to the face were devastating to him. His neck bent in an unnatural way, you know, that's not humanly normal. Now, the reason why I'm doing this story, the other paramedic came and said, hey, we got there. Supposedly, this is the paramedic that had him in the ambulance doing CPR because he was gone already. So he came and gave his testimony. Now, the other ones was fired. So we don't know if they'll come up through stands. But check this out. Demetrius Haley's girlfriend yesterday, right, took the stand late, right? Now, hear this. This is from in the courtroom. I'm hearing this, right? She took the stand, showed the picture of Tyre Nichols. A pen blew up in my hand. That's what this is. Showed the picture of Tyre Nichols. Everybody looked. Said he looked real bad because the picture was close up. Then on top of that, through them talking, now remember, the prosecution put her on the stand and they're talking to her. She's the ex-girlfriend of Demetrius Haley. Got her on the stand, right? She starts showing other pictures. One of the pictures she shows is another time Scorpion team chased this dude in a car chase. The dude crashed the car. They pulled him out the car, beat the hell out of him. Demetrius Haley takes his picture. She putting people on the thing, telling on him about something that people ain't even know about. They hurry up and got her off their stand. That's crazy. Think about this. This your ex-girlfriend ain't got nothing to do with it. And she came to court in support of what happened to an innocent man beat. And not only told what happened, but told a little bit more about your character by showing something else and assassinating your character. These people look bad, y'all. They look bad. Because if you look at this whole thing for what it is, they made up a lie for them to have an excuse to beat a guy up and look good in front of their supervisor, Field Lieutenant Dwayne Smith. Because remember, they said he was putting pressure on them. Y'all need to make an arrest. Go out there and get these guys. And they turned a simple guy, simple citizen, into a wanted felon that needed the hands and feet of justice put on him so they could just put him in handcuffs. Now they're paying for it. I don't know why they're prolonging this. I mean, odds are stacked against them. They have the weight of a building on them, on those 3 cops. And I don't know what, we'll see how long this thing go. Seriously, I wonder if the defense would just rest one day, like, this is enough, we rest. I wonder if they even offer them deals now that the trial started. I think it's too late for it. But anyway, we'll have an update later on. This is something I forgot about yesterday, the other EMT. It was another set of EMTs that came we didn't see. And Demetria's Haley girlfriend, ex-girlfriend came and told it all. Sinful. I'm Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. It don't get no worse than this in an uphill battle. They don't even have a, they not only have an uphill battle, they got oil and all kind of stuff and nothing to hang on to while they try to climb this hill to victory of innocence, which they're not going to get. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.